Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So today I decided to move my two brush piles, combine those together because we're gonna burn them this winter. Once everything's wet and it's cold outside, we'll end up burning this brush pile. And I've decided to relocate it here in the middle of our front field. This was in soybeans last year. Perfect place to be able to burn this. We're gonna turn this into pasture, by the way. And but there's nothing around it to catch fire. So this is be a great place to be able to burn this winter. So most of that brush pile was made from clearing out these old fence lines. And that was one of our goals this year, was to clear out as much fence line as we could. And on this one, I have cleared out from about that tree up to the driveway. And then back here, I've cleared out from right about there all the way up to the road. And I've got about 100 feet left right here in the middle that I need to finish up. I want to try to get that done today. But the first thing I need to do is I need to cut some of these lower limbs high enough up so that I can get the tractor cab under them, so that I can get under there with the brush hog and really clean this out. All right, I got most of the lower limbs cut off. I ended up with a fairly good pile here. So now I think we're ready to go ahead and just start continuing to tear this fence line out. First thing I want to do is try to rip out some of this old field fencing with the grapple. And a lot of this has grown right through the trees, so it may not want to come out. All right, I think I got all of the field fencing ripped out, and I got what posts I could reach or what I could get. So the grapple on the tractor is 6 feet wide, and a lot of these trees are closer together than 6 feet wide, so you can't get the grapple in between each one of these trees. Now, if I do like the rest of the fence line, I'll put trees about every 20 feet. That way I can still mow in between them. And there's a lot of trees here in this section. So a lot of big trees next to each other. So I will probably thin this out somewhat. We're not going to do that today, but I think I'm to the point now where I can at least try to get the brush hog in there, and it's a 7-foot brush hog. Same problem that we're going to have with the grapple. It's not going to fit in between all these trees, but I think I can make this look a lot better. But before I do that, let's head up to the house, check out what Rebecca's doing. I'll show you what we've been working on over the last couple days. We've been pretty busy. So we got beef coming back from the processor this week, and we're trying our best to clear out our freezers, try to make some space. So we've been giving away the turkeys that we butchered. We've been giving several of those away to friends and family. And then we've got one of those that Rebecca's actually cooking inside right now. And I'll show you that just in a second. And then this weekend is actually deer hunting weekend. We don't have permits this year. We're not deer hunting, but I actually still had deer meat in the freezer from last year. So what I've done is I've got 5 pounds of snack sticks made up here, and then I've got 15 pounds of beef jerky right there. And then I mixed that all up this morning, and tomorrow hopefully I'll end up making that. But we're just doing our best to try to clean out the freezers and make some space. So when we butchered our turkeys, we kind of gave them a rating. You know, like some were perfect, some had minor flaws, and some had you know, like skin ripped or a broken bone, and that would be like a major flaw. So all of the ones that were definitely imperfect, those are ours to keep. And then the perfect ones are the ones we're trying to give away to friends and family. So the one we cooked today is going to be an example of an imperfect turkey. Believe it has a lot of broken skin on it. Well, our imperfect turkey got a little bit worse. The skin on the top stuck to the aluminum foil, so it ripped the skin off the top when she pulled it off to brown it. But when we processed this, it ripped the skin on each side of each leg, so that's what was not right with it originally. But just look, there's probably, what, 1.5 inches of broth and juice in the bottom of that pan. So this turkey may look a little bit rough, but it'll taste good, it'll eat fine, and we're gonna cook this into a lot of other meals as well. And the other thing we did is we had all of the tomatoes that we had frozen from the garden. We got those out yesterday, we got them thawed out, and we processed those all this morning. So we've got in this saucepan, or in this roaster, is about 22 quarts of tomato sauce, and we're cooking that down right now. So we ought to be, I'd say by the time we cook that down, we'll be somewhere around 20 quarts of tomato sauce, 18, 20 quarts that we'll have. And we've definitely been busy over the last couple days, you know, trying to process the tomatoes and clean out the freezers and stuff. So right there's what one of the turkey breasts look like. Here's our big cutting knife next to it. You can see that that is a big breast. So I'd say that was probably about a 24-pound turkey, and we'll eat on it all week. Rebecca will make sandwiches out of it. We'll probably take some of the meat, cook it into a few dishes, and then I may can some of that in some turkey broth as well. But we got Thanksgiving coming up here in a few days, and we'll end up with more turkey. I'm sure we'll eat some more turkey over Thanksgiving. So I'm sure by the time Thanksgiving weekend's over with, we'll be turkeyed out for sure. All right, we'll go ahead and head back to the fence line, see if we can get that all finished up. All right, I think I've done about as much as I can do with this section here. There's just too many trees here to make this look good. It still looks pretty bad. And there's a lot of trees in here that are in pretty bad shape. So some of the trees that I cut out of here are gonna be easy to choose just because they're already rotting or going bad. But I'm definitely gonna have to clear this out, but it's gonna be for another day with a chainsaw. And at least I can use most of that for firewood for next year. So the brush pile we made today, this is probably at least 30 feet, I'd say, in this direction, probably 20 feet in the other. We'll probably make a second brush pile somewhere closer to the fence line over there when we clear out the one that goes right beside our driveway. It's close to the house, goes beside the workshop. That fence line, this brush pile is just gonna be too far away. So the next fence line to clear out is right here. You can see all the brush. There's actually an old fence line in there, and there's no trees. So this ought to be a lot easier. And that fence line goes straight to this post, and then there's another post right down there. And you can tell they're a few feet north of the electric pole. And the new fence that I put in, I'm actually gonna put on this side of the electric pole, about 6 feet off of the old fence line. That way I've got enough space where I can drive down here and mow it with a tractor on the outside, because right off of this fence line, probably can't tell it, it just drops off and it's a ditch. So I need to leave enough flat space here for me to be able to mow around. And at first glance, I don't see any posts in here. I know there's posts in here, they may be further down, but I don't see any right through here. So I think I'm just gonna take the brush hog and I'm just gonna try to mow along the front of the property here, right along that fence line, right along the ditch, and just get that cleaned up as best I can. as you look behind me, the sun is already down and I'm running out of light, so I think I'm done for today. So I was able to get this first probably 25% completely done. You can see no trees, no brush that whole way. And then when I got to here, this is where I started running into a little bit of trouble. There's erosion real bad where this field goes through. It drops down a couple feet, and then a little further, it's probably 3 feet that it drops. So it's really eroded out in this section. And then at this point in time, that's when the fence posts and the fence appear. So there's fence and fence posts the rest of the way. This area here had no fence posts, so I was able to just mow everything down and get it all cleaned up. So I think that's a fairly good start for this fence row here in the front. I do want to try to get all of this brush, I want to try to get it knocked down before I run my fence. And that way I've got a good clean start, and then hopefully I can just mow it a couple times a year and keep up with it. But I think that's probably going to be it for this video, guys. Continuing on our goal of trying to clear out our fence lines. There's really only 3 that we got to do. I'm just going to call it 3. So this is the north side by the road. The east side over there next to the white pole barn. That's pretty well done except for cutting down trees. And then the south side over here that's by the house and the workshop and the driveway, we ain't even started on that one yet. And then the west side, it's pretty well mowed and there's nothing over there to clear. So we really only have a total of 3 sides to clear to be able to put up fence and fence in this 12 acres right here. And then hopefully, you know, our goal is to work on that really hard and to be able to start getting that fenced in and be able to start running livestock out here next year. So I don't think we'll be burning that brush pile anytime soon. We need everything to get wet. It has been extremely dry. It's so dry I still can't dig any post holes here to do the corral build. I tried to come out here one day and drill some holes so I could start running the posts and start running the corral on this side of the white pole barn, and it's just extremely dry right now. And that's kind of hurt that project from anything going any further on it. And the only thing I think I can really focus on right now, with as dry as it is out here, is just to keep on clearing fence lines. So that's probably something I'll continue to do probably in the next few videos. And I think that front fence line, I actually think it's going to go fairly easy. I say that, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, I think that's going to be it in this video, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.